Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So I did pick up a few foundations today, and actually you probably already saw it. This foundation was recently reviewed by the makeup guru Jeffree Star. I love him. But this isn't a review because we already know that the foundation does work. I just wanted to compare between a full coverage makeup to another full coverage makeup, and just to see how much product we are going to be using. So first things first, let's go ahead and prep my skin, my face, so we can jump right into it. And I'm going to be picking up the Urban Decay Quick Fix, and I'm just going to be spritzing that all over my face. Okay, that's that. There goes that light bulb again. And I'm just going to moisturize my face. Any moisturizer works. Whatever works for you is the one that you should be using. And since I am more on the dry side, I like to use stuff that has a lot more hydration in it because I like that nice fresh look. Okay, now let's give that a second, wait for it to dry up a little bit so we can go ahead and place a serum over. And guys, if it looks like I'm naked, I'm not. I do have a tank under. I guess it's like, what are those called? Those tube tops. There you go, tube tops. So I'm gonna drop 1, 2, 3 drops, and I'm just going to put this all over my face. I like to do the under eye just because of those dark circles. Spread this down to my neck. Okay. Now we can get started. So I did go ahead and pick up the Dermacol in case you guys are wondering. I'm pretty sure you already knew if you saw Jeffree Star's video. I did pick up 2 different colors just because it didn't seem like either or was gonna match, so I'm just gonna mix them up together. So let me pick up the box really quick, and if I can find them because I took them out, and see exactly what it says. Okay, so it says directions. Apply in a small quantity and spread evenly. So let's go ahead and do that. And it does have the puncture part on the top of the cap, so I'm gonna puncture it right now. And there you go. I'm gonna mix these 2. So it does say small amount, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna be placing like a little dot, or maybe even half of it, since I'm gonna be using from a different bottle as well. So I have this much. I don't know if you can see it. This is really small, guys, like really small. The shades that I picked up are 218 and 223. So let me go ahead and just mix those in. Mix them up. And I don't know if it's the same color. We're just gonna go with it and apply that all over my face. I barely picked up, not all over my face, we're gonna be putting this on half the face. I barely picked up any product, honestly, guys. This was like half of a dot in total. So I'm just gonna work with that for now to see where it takes me. I've never used this before, and I do have a damp beauty sponge, and I'm just going to work that into my face. It does say to use in small amounts, so remember, so it's better to build if you feel you need more. As you can see already, and I hope you can see it, half of my face is covered in foundation. And that's because I put very little, and this is, I would say, like a medium coverage, guys, right here. I didn't put the dot that some people show in their videos. I only put half of a dot. So let's just go ahead and use the other half of the dot and then see what that leads us to as well. So there's that little half, and then I'm going to pick up the other one to mix that one in. So there you go. That's now the other half. So I'm going to mix those two in and place it all over this side of my face. Just from the feel of it, I honestly feel like I'm gonna like it. I've never used it, and it could be that Jeffrey liked it, and so that's why I'm convincing myself, because I like him and I love everything he says and I take his word for everything. It could be because of that, but I honestly feel like the texture of the foundation feels thick alone, just pulling it out of the container itself. So automatically it does feel like it's gonna be a very full coverage foundation. And I wasn't wrong. He wasn't either. He wasn't lying to us, guys. It really is full coverage. And in his video, he didn't use any concealer, but I probably will, not because I want to conceal anything, but because I like that highlight, and just because I do want to give it a fair shot, because I will be using a different foundation on this side. And I just want to see what it looks like. So this side is the Dermacol foundation, and this side doesn't have any foundation, as you can see. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up another foundation. I haven't used this foundation either, guys. I just picked this one up today, and this one is by Tarte, the Amazonian Clay Foundation. And it says full coverage foundation. So let's go ahead and apply this on and see what we're dealing with. See how much product we use compared to the Dermacol full foundation as well, full coverage foundation. Actually, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wash this beauty blender so nothing can get mixed together and make my review false. So I'm gonna go wash this really quick and then we'll start on this side. Okay, so now I did clean off my beauty blender, and I do have a clean one now, as you can see. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this Amazonian Clay foundation. So I am going to start off again with the same amount, very little. I'm gonna add a drop right here. And it's a dot right there. And I'm going to work that into my face. I'm gonna apply it with my fingers, same way. I'm just gonna pat it out with the beauty blender. Now this one is a little, the color is a little different because I was able to match this one a little better, but it's okay. So let's go ahead and I'll blend that part out. Okay guys, so immediately you can tell that just right there, that is like a light medium coverage with that dot. And that's the same dot we used, more or less the same dot that we used with the Dermacol. So obviously you can see I still have the foundation very much covered on this side of my face, and this side it still looks like I haven't applied any. So I'm going to continue to add just to try to mimic and achieve the same coverage that we have on this side, which I'm a little scared because I only used a little for the Dermacol, and I'm having to use a lot more now with the Amazonian Clay. And this video is not to put down the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. This is just to show us and guide us more or less how much product we're using, you know, compared to others that are full coverage and work as if they were a full coverage. Okay, so I don't really see the coverage happening compared to this side. I don't see it, guys. So I'm gonna leave it as is. Is it, okay, no. Let me try and add a third coat. So here's another little drop, which I'm probably adding more the second time, each time I apply it, because I'm trying to get that same coverage I have on the left side. But after this, I'm just gonna go ahead and add some concealer and see what that does. This is definitely easier to blend out because it's not as thick, but I would definitely any day probably choose a Dermacol because I'm going to be using less product, and I would rather much be patting that around my face just to know that I'm going to be using less product and not be spending more, and it won't be so heavy on my wallet. So this is probably the furthest I'm going to get with this because I don't want to be using so much foundation, but it's not over, guys. My skin is very different from everybody else's, just like yours is very different from everybody else's as well. So we're gonna go ahead and add some concealer and see how that works, and then we're gonna set it just because I do set my under eye area and add a little bit of powder to the rest of my face. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll be able to tell. So I'm going to be picking up my Shape Tape by Tarte, and I'm just going to be adding that under my eyes. Now let's blend that out. Okay, so now everything is blended out. So it's so funny, this is a full coverage, but on my skin, on this side, the Dermacol, it does look a little dewy. It doesn't look very dry like most foundations would. And same thing for the Amazonian Clay, which I'm really liking. I love matte foundations and I love the full coverage, but I also wish that sometimes certain foundations wouldn't bring out my patchiness of dry skin on that area. And I'm really enjoying both of them. I'm not gonna lie, obviously I did fall in love with the Dermacol because it's more of a full coverage, but I also like how this one isn't making my face look so dry. So now let's go ahead and set it in our under eye area and then test the rest out with some powder. See how that looks. So I'm going to take my RCMA powder, no color, and I'm just going to set my under eyes and kind of bake just to see where that takes me. I'm going to be taking my brush, and this is a tapered brush, and I'm just going to set that in with my under eye, from my under eye. Okay, so that is set. Nothing weird going on so far. There is somewhat of a slight difference, but nothing, obviously it's going to be different because the foundations are both different. So now I'm just going to pick up a beauty blender and pick up a lot of extra setting powder and bake a little. And I do drag this down a lot because I prefer it like that because I do have discoloration. And I feel like my blush and highlight applies so much better when I have this so low when I cover it. Again, this does also add at keeping your foundation on for that full coverage. So I drop it down really low. Yes, I drop it down very low. Not really, guys. I'm just gonna do things that I normally would when I'm doing my makeup. Just gonna set my chin. And I also set my forehead just because I do raise my eyebrows a lot. I express a lot. Like when I speak, I use my hands. I'm very animated, my faces and all this yabba yabba. And I tend to end up having so many creases across my forehead. So let that sit for a second. And I'm going to pick up a powder brush and just add some powder around my face and see where that goes to. So now the powder that I'm going to be using is going to be the MAC Skin Finish, Mineralized Skin Finish. And I'm just going to be applying that all over my face. I'm just going to pick up a little bit and then go ahead and set that into my forehead. Now I'm not going to bake too long because this is just to see how the foundation turns out. I don't want to make it a full-blown makeup session, and I'm going to wipe this off and see how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the same tapered brush and just wipe off the excess. And once that's done, I do like to go over with the same powder brush. I did not pick up any extra powder and just go over it. And there you go. So as you can see, it hasn't changed so far. It hasn't broken off. It looks very nice. But I do want you to see that between the two, now I'm going to pick up one bottle and compare it. You are going to be using a lot more foundation from the other than using the Dermacol because it's so full coverage, guys. It just covers up your face completely. And I mean, this I paid $14 at Amazon, and I paid $40 for the Tarte. And I mean, it's all up to you what you prefer. Some people don't like the full coverage as much. I love it. That's what I stand by, full coverage always. Now you guys be the judge of it and tell me what you think. If you guys try them out, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think. Price-wise, I do think the Dermacol is better. Foundation-wise, from full coverage, I do think the Dermacol is better as well. Don't forget to leave your comments and thoughts down below. It's very much appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Mwah. So I'm going to be picking up my Tarte Sharp Tape. Sharp.